Hello. If you're receiving this message, I probably haven't talked to you in a while, and you're likely a former colleague. I hope that since the last time we did speak, that you and your family have been well. I, on the other hand, have been on a roller coaster ride that hasn't been very pleasant at all. It's been quite nightmarish, actually. I am reaching out in hopes of finding advocacy. If I'm reaching out to you, then that means that we likely had a pretty good working relationship, or at the very minimum, I believe that you're a person who has respected me, respected my work ethic, and I certainly have respected yours. Or you are receiving this video because you know someone that I've worked with, and they have very kindly shared this video. I am Tanisha Washington. By career, I have been a business development person for about the last 25 years, and I very proudly have supported all manners of organizations, from Department of Defense organizations, Lockheed Martin, and later on ITT Industries, BAE Systems, which took over for Lockheed Martin. I've supported proposals for NASA as a result of ITT's Space Systems Division, and I have also supported IT by working for Cisco Systems and Hewlett Packard. I've worked in the health sector via my longest running job, BCT Partners, which is a management consulting firm, and also supporting a variety of proposals within HHS and Department of Labor and other civilian agencies. My career certainly did not prepare me for the last few years of my life, other than issues of health and equity. In 2024, we found out that my son, my 14-year-old son, Jelani, had a mass on his right kidney, and I was told that he needed to have his kidney removed immediately. We had his kidney removed 2 days later after they were able to complete the requisite tests and whatnot. About a month after that, I was told that Jelani definitely did have cancer, and it was a very brutal and rare form of cancer directly related to sickle cell trait, called renal medullary carcinoma. So if you know anybody who has sickle cell in their family, you have sickle cell in your family, or know of anyone who has sickle cell trait, or have contacts in the medical community, in the research community, I implore you to share this information. Renal medullary carcinoma comes with about a 3 to 10% survival rate, and obviously I was very hopeful that Jelani would be among those survivors. I reached out to people I knew through my career in the medical community to try to make that happen, including folks at NIH. And unfortunately, Jelani was already stage 4, and though I did have him go through chemotherapy, my son lost his life to renal medullary carcinoma, and our family has been devastated. If you work with me for any length of time, then you probably heard me talking about my twins, Jelani and Azaria. They've always been, since they were born, the loves of my life. And if we haven't talked in a while, you may not know that I also had a second set of twins, Everly and Eden. So I have 3 surviving children, and my son's twin, Azaria, has not done well. She's been very suicidal, and that has led to many crises this past year. I've been out of work since 2024, caring for my children, and though I pride myself on being a professional, being their mom has been the highest honor of my life, and that thing that I am most proud of. I'm very, very disappointed to have lost my life savings while caring for my children, but I would spend it all over again to be here for my babies. The reason that I'm reaching out to you is because I have been trying to find work, and I have been trying to raise money for our family through GoFundMe that my mom set up, but my efforts have been, I wouldn't say ineffective, because that's disrespectful to the people who have been so kind to us. I would simply say that our level of need has been so high that we haven't been able to turn the curve, if you will, or the corner of going from being in crisis mode to truly being in recovery mode. So if you're aware of opportunities, contract opportunities particularly, I am very interested in picking up proposal related work as a independent consultant. I have been onboarded by a couple of consulting companies, but as many of you know, things are pretty rough in the space that we work in terms of contracting. So I could definitely use some help shaking the bushes, if you will, to find some opportunities. I was able to find it's actually really not funny. I was able to find a project that lasted for a couple of months, and unfortunately the client was very unscrupulous and tricked both me and some other former colleagues who had recommended them to me. So I went completely unpaid. It's just, again, life has just been one challenge after another, after another. My daughter's most recent suicide attempt was just last week, and I'm not sure if there's an ideal way of coping with these types of problems. I've certainly done the best that I can, but it's difficult to climb out of this type of devastation. It's been devastating mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and financially. So you can find out more about what has happened by following us on social media. I've made a number of these videos. We are the Midwest Washingtons on Facebook and on YouTube and on TikTok and on Instagram. You can hear my beautiful, lovely baby boy very bravely talking about his diagnosis and his love for family. You can see his obituary to learn more about the special young man that he was. Additionally, I need to turn this pain into some type of purpose. So while I've been struggling through everything else, I've also established the Jelani Washington Seeds of Hope Foundation, and I am very eager to get the foundation formally launched. It is a IRS approved 501c3. I have a domain, though there isn't a website yet. So anybody who sees this who's willing to help out get that launched, I would certainly appreciate it. It's something that I definitely want to throw my talents and my energy and my knowledge toward, because throughout this process, I've been informed by many social workers that it's not uncommon for families with children who have serious illnesses, particularly cancer, to fall on really hard times. And from my experience, there's more support while the child is sick and less support once a child has passed. But there still is quite a dire need in many ways. The level of need doesn't change at all, because you're just trying to make sense of your life. And even someone who is professional and educated can struggle to understand resources that are available, to be able to just carry out daily functions. So I want the Jelani Washington Seeds of Hope Foundation to be a bridge, resource for people like families like our family, that are really, really struggling and really in need of the assistance, and not really sure how to go about coming up out of the water and learning how to swim again. So again, if you could certainly visit our GoFundMe page, share our story, encourage others to donate. I have about, I think, $50,000 in medical expenses and orthodontia expenses. I had just gotten braces for the kids, and what a beautiful smile Jelani had. Still have not yet put a marker on Jelani's grave. I need to do that. Something very, very important for me to get that done. And then the reality is that I'm over 50 years old now, and thought I was saving for retirement, and now I have no retirement, which is scary, but the money was well spent. Every moment that I got to spend with my baby was precious, and every moment that I've been here supporting my daughter through her grief and her mental health crisis, it's been invaluable. One thing that this experience has reinforced to me is that time is so precious, and we spend so much time at work, and sometimes our families take a back seat. But when you have a health crisis like this, you realize how precious your time with your family is. So again, I hope that you and your family are well and continue to be well. And if you have the ability to donate, please do. If you don't, I certainly understand it. Things are very hard, and everybody's going through something. But just sharing, if 1,000 people shared and each of those people gave $5, that would make the difference in the world. My mortgage is overdue and in default. And, in some ways I've felt just overwhelmed and not wanting to ask for help, because that's just not the type of person I am. I'm accustomed to doing for myself, but it's like getting hit by a tsunami or something. I just can't get over it without help. We can't get past it without help. And I had somebody say to me that the goal of raising is the fundraising goal was too high Oh, goodness gracious. And maybe it is. Maybe it's discouraging to ask for a large sum of money, but I'll tell you this, if you don't ask, then you certainly don't get it. And like I said, we're so far into the hole that, um, it's just going to take a substantial amount to get out. And, um, I'm hoping that some of the opportunities that I've been pursuing pan out. But the reality is that the bills are the bills and they're due right now. So, again, if you're able to help, please do. And if you can't, at least share. I mean, the shares are so important to successful fundraising and the advocacy of people not just sharing, but saying, hey, who is Tanisha as a person? Um, what do I think of her? Why should you even care about helping her, about helping her children, or about the plight that they find themselves in? It is the story that really convinces people to get involved and to get engaged. So, I mean, hopefully something that I have said here is compelling, and hopefully, again, your experience with me, if you've been a colleague, has been very positive. I've always tried to be a positive person, and I'll continue to do so. So, uh, Jelani Washington Seeds of Hope Foundation. If you can offer any type of resources or guidance, or know of people, I'm not as familiar with the not-for-profit space as I am with federal contracting in particular. So I'm, you know, all ears for any guidance and any support that folks who are much more learned than I am in that space can offer. So thank you. Sorry, such a long video.